Hi folks, welcome to Bible Pearls. I just wanted to show you our dog. Hey Misha, come here. Come here Misha, come here. Come on, get up, get up. This is my son, Constantine's dog. Misha. That's a camera over there, Misha. Check out the camera. This is our dog Misha. So anyway, just so you know, that's the Bible Pearls dog. Alright Misha, we'll let you go. Thomas, why don't you let him out, okay? Let open the door and let him go upstairs. Anyway, hi, how you doing? Welcome to Bible Pearls. Brother George here. And I think we're going to call today's video, What's It All About, Alphi? Anyway, what this video is going to be about is I'm going to try to, after studying the Bible, you have to try to step back at some point and you have to say, what's the umbrella? What's the big picture? What's this all about, really? And I hope you find this interesting. And this is a good thing for you to see before, during, or after you have spent time studying the Bible. It seems to me that it's all about order and disorder. And order, the perfect order, is God. And love is the best means by which to express your perfect order. Maybe that's why the Bible says God is love. And there are things that work in the direction of order, and one of them is life. Life is order. Whereas, there's no shortage of disorder. Disorder is all around us. And everything gravitates towards disorder. That's why people get tempted. That's why, because sin is disorder. And we're tempted. We have a natural gravitation towards disorder. We have a natural gravitation towards sinning. So it requires a discipline, a love of order, a love of God, a love of the people around you, your family, whatever, to try to stay within order for the benefit of not just all of those people, and but yourself as well. And this is God's desire for us. I also came across another concept that I wanted to illustrate to you. That's why I have this board up here on the easel, because it occurred to me that in the process of life, we, especially in a capitalistic society, we tend to compete against one another. And through the process of competition, a lot of energy is wasted in competing against one another. And although this is the way it has to be on earth, it seems to me like the best system that man has come across is the system where we have a free enterprise and a capitalistic system, however, with a moral base. And my moral base of preference or choice is Christianity. So Christianity is what controls capitalism, because as I've said in other videos, capitalism is like a fire in your fireplace. If you can control the fire, it'll warm your house. But if you let the fire out of control, it'll burn your house down. And that's what capitalism will do if it's not controlled. So, on the other hand, if we were perfect, if we lived in heaven, I think that, a lot of people don't want to hear this and they don't want to admit it, but communism is probably what you have in heaven, because you're no longer going to be interested in the material things. You're going to transcend all of that. But the reason why communism doesn't work on this planet is because we do have a sinful nature. And it is my personal belief that when Karl Marx wrote the Communist Manifesto, he never believed that that system could work, because you don't have to be a genius. And these men that have put together these different political and ideological systems, they're supposed to be intellectual towers of wisdom. And it's hard for me to believe that he did not understand that in a communist system, once it was understood by the average person, and we all have a sinful nature, once they understand that no matter how much or how hard I work, I'm still going to get paid the same amount of money, then the new game in town right away becomes, how little can I do and still get paid the same amount that I would normally get paid? And the society, just like what happened in the Soviet Union, the society ends up self-destructing. And you have to introduce incentives and different things into the system. I mean, the system has to be based on something. If you're not incentivized with financial gain, then there has to be a nationalism, or there has to be some love of something, some need that causes people to, do their best and try hard and try to make the system work. So you understand that what we're talking about here is like idyllic circumstances. We're not talking about necessarily here on earth, because here on earth we're dealing with our sinful nature. But under an ideal circumstance, if you have a competition in a capitalistic or free enterprise system, then you have all of these little entities. Some of them are big entities and some of them are little entities. You might have, this is a wealthy person and this is a poor person, a middle class person, and you have all of these entities all over the place, and all of these entities are competing against one another and trying to get more for themselves. So this act of competition, I submit to you, this act of competition is wasted energy. However, in the idyllic system, the system that I think Jesus Christ was trying to tell us or teach us, is that if we forget about ourselves and we try to do for others, you got to remember, it's not just you doing for everybody else, but everybody else is supposed to have that mentality also. So everybody else is also doing for you. So you're all helping each other out. Under a system like that, where everybody is thinking outside of themselves and not just about themselves, you have a situation where there is no wasted energy, and you, in a very short amount of time, you have heaven on earth, and you're living in an idealistic society where there are no needs, there are no wants, everybody's got much more than what they need. However, this is the caveat. There was once an experiment where they took young people, I think it was young people, but I might have mentioned this before in another video, but they said that you could live in one of two societies. And if I remember the numbers correctly, it was something like this. In one society, they're going to say, you're going to get $50,000, but everybody else only gets $10,000. That's what you start out with. And nobody has anything else. You've got $50,000 and everybody in the rest of the world's got $10,000 each. However, there's another society where we'll give you $500,000. However, everybody else in the world has got $1 million. So you have half of what everybody else has in this society, but in the first society where you have 50,000 and they've only got 10,000, you've got 5 times more than everybody else does. And the thing that illustrates the flaw, the human flaw in thinking, or how people are affected by power, by prestige, by peer group pressure, by how they're affected, and they compare themselves to the people around them instead of comparing themselves to themselves. And the majority of the people picked a society where they would only have $50,000 because what was most important to them is that they had 5 times more than everybody else. Whereas I submit to you that I am the type of person that would have definitely picked the society where I would have $500,000, because I don't care if everybody's got $1 million. It doesn't matter how I compare it to the rest of them. And besides that, I'm confident in myself that in a certain amount of time, I will have more and they will have less, because I'm going to be more industrious and more incentivized to go out there and compete and try to service their needs and try to get some more of their wealth as a means of them compensating me for whatever service I can find that they would want or need. So you see the point I'm trying to make. I'm trying to make the point that God is about order and about love, and that is the main principle of the Bible. It's about order versus disorder. and you definitely have more order in a society that has some type of a religious system. Even regardless of the religious system, it has more order than no system at all. But out of all the religious systems that I've ever observed or have come into contact with, Christianity is by far the most superior. If you read the Bible and you see how this book of 66 separate books that have been connected over 2,000 years of different people writing and putting into it, how it's interconnected. Oh, by the way, I want to show you something. There's a book that it was given to me by a friend. I don't know if he wants me to mention his name, so I won't, but I will in a future video if he does want me to. But he gave me this book, and it's called Cosmic Codes. Cosmic Codes. And I just got done reading it, and I got to tell you that when you read this book, you cannot walk away thinking that the Bible just was written by a bunch of, silly old religious men. This book was written by people that were inspired by the Holy Spirit, and you can see beyond any shadow of a doubt that this book was written by an extraterrestrial divine intelligence. If you don't believe me, read the book. It's not that expensive. It's definitely a beneficial experience no matter what opinion you have when you walk away from it. But a book I highly recommend. Another book, and I get nothing for recommending these books except just trying to say something and do something for you folks that is some benefit to you. Another book that I wanted to recommend to you in this video, which has actually nothing to do with Christianity or religion, and it should be more in a video about health than it is about Bible, but your health is also my concern if I'm a Christian, because I want what's best for you, not just spiritually, but as far as your health or any other way. And that book, oh, by the way, this book, I don't know if I mentioned, is by Dr. Chuck Missler, Cosmic Codes, Dr. Chuck Missler. And the other book, he's already passed away, but when you look at his material, you realize that this was an awesome human being, and the things he accomplished in his life are very impressive. The other book that I wanted you to recommend to you is called Wheat Belly. As you can see, I still have my belly, but it's smaller than it was before. And that's because even though I know what the right thing is to do, to actually have the willpower to do it, that's the next step. So I have reduced my consumption of wheat, and that's what this book is basically all about. It's a fascinating read. I think it has a lot of merit. There is things about it that are controversial, but generally speaking, this author's name is Dr. William Davis, and the book is pretty well known in a lot of circles. But for those of you that don't know about it, buy it, read it. It'll not just to lose your weight, but it'll dramatically improve your health in many other ways. So anyway, the last thing that I wanted to say is I brought my Bible with me, and I wanted to say to you a final thing in the last few minutes I have left for this video. And the thing is here. Thomas, could you come here for a minute? This is a young fellow that helps me with the videos. I want you to just take this Bible and just open it up randomly to some spot in the Bible. Okay, thank you very much. Now, if you look here on this spot where Thomas opened it up to, as you can see that it's marked up. It's marked up here, and it's written here, and I got some stars and different underline, different brackets this way to underscore what I think is important. And it's that way throughout the whole book. And I'm not showing this to you to like pat myself on the back or anything. The reason why I wanted to show you this is because the Bible is a tool, and when it's not some holy thing that you put on a pedestal and you worship it and you bow down to it. It's the message that's holy, not the paper and the ink and the leather cover. That's not holy. What's holy is the message. And what you need to do is you need to study it. Because it is a tool, you need to underline it. You need to go back and reference it. You need to make notes while you're studying the Bible. And one of the things that I do is I read the Bible in 3 different places. I'll read like a page or two, in one place, a page or two in another place, and a page or two, and I spread it out, usually like 2 places at the end of whatever one I'm working on in that particular book, Old Testament or New Testament. Then I take that and go right back to the beginning again and keep going that way, keep going over and over again. I'm telling you folks, this book is a book of infinite wisdom and knowledge. This is God's message to us. Some people call it the human being's owner's manual. So be that as it may, take this if you can receive it from me. God bless you, and thank you for watching.